Hey Insurance, this is Tony Cañas, Chief Motivational Officer at Insurance Nerds and PNC Client Advisor at the Jacobson Group. It is no secret that I am a CPCU groupie. I have been to the CPCU Annual Meeting, now known as In2Risk, every year for 11 years in a row, and my plan is to never miss one. I've also been to the CPCU Leadership Summit, now known as Scale, every year. After attending the big meetings a total of 21 times, I've come to the realization that the industry looks at the CPCU conferences in the wrong way. Most people working on their CPCU think that the CPCU trip is a perk, a reward for the hard work of getting the most prestigious designation in insurance. And partially it is, but it's also so much more. It's an amazing opportunity to watch some incredible speakers present about the technical, career, and even societal aspects of insurance. It's an opportunity to hang out in some very cool cities. And more than anything, it's an opportunity to make lifelong connections and lifelong friendships that will pay amazing dividends over the course of your career. I realized this years ago, but I hadn't been able to really put it into words until recently. I was sitting on the Delta flight back from Orlando into Risk 2021, where I had reconnected with hundreds of old friends and met hundreds of new ones. Learned so much about the industry and had so much fun hitting both the Harry Potter areas of Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure and the Star Wars area of Disney Hollywood Studios. As I'm sitting there at 33,000 feet, flying from Orlando to Atlanta, it hit me. The CPCU conference is not a perk or a reward. It's an investment. That's why those of us who were lucky enough to figure out how to make it to a second and a third national CPCU meeting became lifers. We realized that the value that you get from continuing involvement in the society is so great that it makes sense to negotiate it into the agreement the next time that you change jobs. It makes sense to become involved within the leadership of a local chapter, interest group, or committee to have a valid reason to ask your manager to support you going to the conference. It makes sense to stay in a cheaper hotel nearby when you have a limited budget, and it even makes sense to sometimes pay for it out of pocket, like I did this year and maybe 2 or 3 of the 20 plus major CPCU conferences that I've attended. I have realized that the CPCU conferences are so very valuable that it's a no-brainer to bake the costs into my budget every year to make sure that I can attend even if I don't have employer support. That's why I can confidently say that I'll never miss one for the rest of my life. I can't be sure that my employer will pay for it, but I can be confident that I can budget for it. After all, like most people who got their CPCU early in their career, I'm making 3 times what I was making when I started my CPCU. It's paid off in spades. It's no secret that many carriers have pulled away from supporting CPCU membership and especially from supporting the trip. 10 years ago, it was a truism that every carrier would pay for your trip the year that you completed your CPCU. Today, several carriers offer you the option of the CPCU trip or a cash bonus. Some only offer the bonus, and it's up to you whether to use it for the trip. It makes me sad for the kids that, without fully understanding the trade-off they're making, take the cash and skip the trip. I can't blame you. I would have done the same had I finished my CPCU at Farm Bureau of Iowa, where at the time, they offered paying for the trip or a $2,000 cash bonus. I was making $32,000 a year. $2,000 was life-changing money. I would have absolutely taken the cash and moved on. Luckily, by the time I finished, I was at Nationwide, where the reward was the trip, and with no option to take the cash instead. So I went to the CPCU Annual Meeting 2011 in Las Vegas, and the rest is history. If you're a young insurance professional working on your CPCU and you're faced with this decision, let me assure you, the right long-term decision is to attend the conference. The connections that you'll make in the long term will be invaluable and a much better investment than the cash bonus. If you do CPCU early enough in your career, I can guarantee it'll pay off in spades. As your salary and your career start growing post-CPCU, budget accordingly to make it to the conference whenever you can. I'm not saying you have to make it every year, but you simply won't get all the value if you only attend the first year. You're leaving a lot of value on the table. Maybe attend the first year paid by your company, get involved, and attend Leadership Summit paid by the company again, because you're now a leader within the society. Then maybe skip a couple of years while you don't have company support and will you work your way through the local chapter leadership roles. Then 2 to 3 years later, attend again when you're president or vice president of your local chapter, partially supported, but partially sponsored by your local chapter. Then maybe skip a few years while your kids are young and while your career is starting to take off. And finally, come back every year once you've gotten to a point in your career and your life where it makes sense. That's how you make the most out of this amazing career and life-changing investment that is CPCU. And on the years that you do make it to either In2Risk or Scale, make sure that you come say hi to me, because I'll be there. I'll be there every year because it's been too good of an investment for me to ever skip it. See you there. Thank you.